I just want to thank everyone that competed, helped out, anything that you guys are involved in. So thank you all for coming and being a part of this week. Because so far, day one has been a success, and we're really enjoying it. For those of you that have not met me, my name is David Michael Hahn. I'm the president of the Whitman Graduate Student Organization. We're the ones putting on we are the ones that are putting on this event. We're putting on the events tomorrow. So we very much appreciate you guys coming out. Food was good. Everything was good. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, so we have a very special presenter tonight. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about him, and we'll bring him on up. His name is Ishaan Patel. He's a 13-year-old, and he is currently an 8th grader in Connecticut. He is the son of Dr. Alba Patel and Dr. Alkesh Patel. What's interesting, there's a couple of interesting things, but Dr. Alkesh Patel, there's too many doctors for me to get it all straight. He is currently a MBA at Syracuse online student with us. He got in contact with this. Yes, he is here this weekend. You guys saw how crazy Whitman was today. We had a lot of events on. He was here for that. And so we got in contact with us, and we've been in partners with their family and what's it's called Planting Pencils. It's an organization where they get different school supplies and things like that for children all over the world who are in need for these school supplies. And Ishaan, our little 8th grader over here, big 8th grader over here, is the CEO of the company. He runs it. So a few years ago, Ishaan's aunt went to India and Costa Rica to volunteer at some of these different schools for the impoverished and underserved students. When she returned, she shared her experiences with Ishaan, and he was so moved by it that he wanted to kind of start this initiative to get things going. So, this has really shown how fortunate he is over the years. He does, get the school supplies, so he's bringing in the school supplies for those that need it. So he wants to give a little presentation for you guys, kind of about Planting Pencils, and I think thank you for helping out. So if you want to come on up, Ishaan.
Thank you, David. I am honored that you have given me the chance to be here amongst all of you for this amazing event. I would like to first thank all of the members of the Graduate Student Organization of the Whitman School of Management for choosing Planting Pencils as the charity to support at this event, and for giving me the chance to share my mission with you. Now, a pencil to most is a basic tool for writing and creating, but to me, a pencil is a symbol of hope, a symbol that represents education, knowledge, and the empowerment to change one's future. I was shocked to learn that over 100 million children between the ages of 6 and 15 are currently not in school around the world. Some of the causes are poor or no access to school, malnutrition, poor health, child labor, and child marriages. Over 700 million adults around the world are illiterate and do not have the means to support themselves or their families. I also surprised towards education, while the other 98% goes toward food, water, and other causes. I thought about this and how if more people are educated, they would be able to supply themselves with food and water. If we took the time to give people the tools required to be self-sufficient, we would be able to make a permanent improvement in their lives. Education can break the cycle of poverty and hunger. Mahatma Gandhi said, "Be the change that you wish to see in the world." In an effort to do just that, I founded an organization, Planting Pencils, dedicated to raising awareness and collecting support for underfunded schools in the United States and around the world. My goal with Planting Pencils is to use the seed of education to grow empowered children around the world. 30 years ago, America was the leader in quantity and quality of high school diplomas. Today, our nation is ranked 36th in the world. Now, I know that my education would not be complete without digital literacy. 90% of my schoolwork is done with my laptop, high-speed internet access in Google and Microsoft products. In the United States, 97% of low-income students rely on school internet access, but in 2013, 40 million students did not have high-speed internet access in school. Since then, there has been a big push to improve this situation. Today, that number is down to 20 million students who still lack high-speed internet access in school. These students graduate high school with a large disadvantage. How are they to compete in today's job market or when applying for college if they lack digital literacy? A well-known Chinese proverb states, "Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, but teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime." What exactly does this mean? I take it to mean that education is a priceless commodity. Education gives one power to change his or her destiny, power to protect one's family, power to fight poverty and hunger, and power to fight abuse. Evidence shows that 12% of people, or over 170 million people, could be lifted out of poverty if all students in poor countries had basic reading skills. For every $1 spent on education, an estimated $10 to $15 can be gained in economic growth. It has also been shown that if a large percent of a country's population is uneducated, it affects the social and economic development of that country. Education for every child would mean a brighter future for the world as a whole. I have been able to witness firsthand how powerful the tool of education can be. I have been in contact with a school in Jaipur, India that serves street kids. A few years ago, this school consisted of 1 to 2 small rooms in a rundown building. Each room had a small chalkboard, and the children sat on the bare floor or on a thin blanket. Oftentimes, classes were held outside because of the stifling heat. The school relied on volunteers from around the world to come and teach basic math and English to these students. They also received donations of basic school supplies. The students lived across the street in tents made from plastic garbage bags, and they did not have clean water to wash with or drink. Today, with the help of donors, the school has been able to move tools, clean water to drink, and clean water to wash with. The students from a few years ago are now proficient in English, Hindi, math, science, and social studies. These children who before were on the path to malnutrition, poverty, and disease are now healthy and thriving and have the ability to get a job and support themselves and their families. This is just one example that shows what a huge difference education can make. The United Nations had set a deadline for universal primary education, and the deadline was for 2015. We are past that deadline and still so far from achieving universal primary education. Planting Pencils was incorporated December 2nd, 2015, and since that date, I have spoken at many events in an effort to raise awareness and support to improve the access to basic quality education for all children. Thus far, with the donations we have received, we have been able to give school supplies and computers to 2 schools in Hartford, Connecticut that serve underprivileged families, and we have been able to send supplies to 2 separate schools in Africa that serve impoverished students. My hope is to also set up communications via Skype between the schools in Africa and India with the schools in the United States. This is almost like a digital pen pal. In this way, I'm hoping my classmates and other privileged students will be able to see firsthand how students in developing and underdeveloped areas live and are so eager to learn. If I can help inspire others to join my cause, it would only benefit the world. There is a very valuable resource that we have yet to tap. That resource is the uneducated mind of a child. It is the resource of a mind that has not yet learned to create, has not yet learned to read, has not yet learned to think independently. This resource is priceless, and we need to treat it as such. Basic quality education is a right, not a privilege. Of the 700 million illiterate adults, 500 million are women. Studies show that educating women would decrease malnutrition rates, decrease early child deaths, and decrease maternal deaths significantly. Over the past 4 decades, the global increase in women's education has prevented more than 4 million child deaths. If we all work together, universal primary education can be achieved. Our ultimate goal is to eradicate hunger and poverty, eradicate abuse and child labor, eradicate disease, and eradicate illiteracy. There is one proven way to make this a reality, and that is to educate. Every child, no matter their race, religion, gender, or nationality, has a right to a basic, free, quality education. It is my belief that one pencil, one book, one child at a time, we can make a lasting difference. I would like to leave you with one last quote. Knowledge is that possession that no misfortune can destroy, no authority can revoke, and no enemy can control. This makes knowledge the greatest freedom of